Hello and welcome back to Planet Coaster Harder Challenge Mode, the mode where we're trying to go through challenge mode and trying a whole bunch of different things. We are here we just completed building our station, which is a parking garage for Burnout, which you see in front of me here. And we have officially, I have a menu up that I was not expecting. We have officially gotten out of the terrible spot that we were in as we were losing money dramatically. We're now up to $98,000, and as we have been doing, we are in pause mode to get a little bit better frame rate so you can hear me a little bit easier. It's still going to be a little interesting from time to time, so I apologize for that. But we are looking good. We are looking very good, and I think what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get our shops out front here open, which means we're going to need to hire some people, and then I do want to start building in the back here to start filling this in a little bit. I think we're going to go for like a city look. We're probably going to be doing two small but tall buildings in this area to cover the transfer track, so we might have to reprofile this a little bit so we can get that switch track in there. So I'm excited to get that going in a little bit, but as we always do, we will start with our management features. So as we go through, our guest happiness, 96%, that's looking great. Our staff is 100% happy. Green all the way through this top guest thoughts, which is amazing. Our most profitable ride is the bubble shot, with our most profitable shot being Bear Paw Eats Pizza Pen, which is amazing. Alright, so recording decided it wanted to not record anymore. But what I was saying is this orange line we got, our ride rating, is going back up. I don't know why it decided to go down, but it looks like it's been kind of frequently been doing that, so I guess it's kind of normal. Scenery rating slowly increasing ever so slightly as we start building more and more scenery, and our park rating, same thing, kind of goes down and up, kind of follows where the attractions are, with a little bit greater variance than what the rides and attractions are doing for us. Balance bonus, that doesn't seem to be changing all that much. Marketing bonus, we're not marketing, so that's what you would expect. Our ticket prices, I think we are pretty good here. I don't think we need to change much. We are going to be implementing the priority pass by opening priority passes for suckers this episode, so that is interesting. We'll probably need to boost that down a little bit. We probably won't have a lot of people going, but that is okay. Maximum guest, we're not going to worry about capping people yet. This park is amazing. I don't want to leave. That's awesome. Security at the park was high. Pickpocketed and got caught. So you deserve to get kicked out. There's 4% of people that are thinking that. That is insane. That's like 16 people. That's crazy. That might be more than that. But security at this park is great, even though I was pickpocketed. They managed to catch them and reclaim the whole amount taken from me. So that's great. And I had a terrible time. A pickpocket stole money from me and hasn't been caught. Security here is a joke. Why? And everything else seems to be looking pretty good. That's a lot of vomit. Number of months since park opened, 536. So we are pretty far in here. We're only in year 68. We're still going strong, so we're going to keep going. In terms of finances, like I said, we are making money now. And that is a huge part. Park entrance tickets have gone up significantly, and I don't even really know why. I don't know what's causing that. It's been pretty consistent. But But you know what? We're going to keep it that way, and we're going to keep charging people the same way. So our small attractions we made money. We made $81. No, we lost $8. $8.50. So that's disappointing, but that's chump change compared to anything else. Our ride running costs, that is expected to lose money. Same with the coaster running costs. We're not going to accumulate more than that, although we did do pretty good. We actually made money on coasters, which is pretty great. And I think that's probably because of breakdowns and whatnot, so that's going to happen. Our priority passes, we're not selling those. Our park entrance tickets, that's where we're making our money at the moment. Our shops and facilities are now in the green consistently, which is amazing. And I really think that that's because we closed the restaurant. We closed down shops, and we've been much more successful with everything. And that is our shop sales. We're making close to $5,000 every month, and our facility running cost is less than $4,000. So we're making about $1,000 a month there. Hotel rooms, making a couple $100, nothing too crazy, but we are keeping people in the park, which is good. Let's minimize these. Our park management, this is where we're going to lose the most of our money. That's because of our staff wages and our scenery costs. So nothing else too crazy going on there. Profit, $2,000. We made $5,000 this month. That's pretty crazy. But construction, not much, because we're doing a lot of construction here and there. And in our other cash, we don't really have any, so that's great. Loans, we don't need to worry about that. Still don't need to worry about the graphs here. Our research is done. Marketing, we're not doing any of that. Our staff. So, we mentioned how we want to open our 3 shops here. We got Just a Memento, we got Dome Protectors. I think this is called Random Stuff, the Just a Memento. Priority Passes for Suckers is right here, and Dome Protectors right over here. So we need to get those open, so we'll need to hire some people. But like I said, our staff is at 100% happiness. Even the people that are getting absolutely pummeled with guests and getting worn out, we're still doing great here. So let's take a look here. What's this? Staff building. All these are open. This doesn't have anything attached to it. That's fine. Our work rosters. Go-kart area. What is this? Does that include... Yeah, so that includes all of this. Okay, so that's perfect. Go-kart area is what we're going to assign our new staff members for. We are going to 1, 2, 3, 4. Get those guys all set up. One thing we're gonna need is, let's go by training level, because that'll make it easier, I think. Our 4 that we got here. Nicole Merrill is. So we got black, we got green, tan, and black. Those are the 4 colors that we need for our people. Enoch Bowling, he likes to go bowling. So we got black, green, tan, black. So that's good. We got Claire Kang. And there we go. Gillian Ailman. Welcome to the team, Gillian. And we have Alex Stoll. Alex Stoll what? Bad jokes, I'm sorry you had to hear that. And there we go. So we got all of those people set up. we are going to set them to the go-kart area. And all that should be good. I don't think we need, yeah, Nicole is at 100. And she's still at that, so that's fine. What we need to do, that'll all sort itself out. Everything else in staff is good. Our guests, we have 40% adult groups, 16% teen groups. That's probably a good reason why we're making money. And we have family groups, 45%, because we do have a lot of family attractions. You can't argue that. And I do, like I said, I have in the last episode at least, we are looking to increase this, and I think Burnout is going to do that. I do like the look of this coaster. It looks really fun. So yeah, so I think that is what we're going to focus on here. I want to get some new attractions in coming up soon. People are thirsty. Not queuing that long to go on Gulpy Speedway. Thank you. I'm not paying that much for Fireball. That's fine. Ooh, I stepped in sick. That's a thing that's gonna be there. So honestly, not too upset. And I didn't mean to close out of that. Not too upset about what's going on here. Our graphs, total guests have for whatever reason gone up, which means they're probably gonna come back down a little bit. But that's fine. We won't worry about that. Our attractions, Orbiter, still not making money, but let's just take a look. Orbiter is great. The value is very good. So let's try and squeeze another 50 cents out of people. Navigator, really good value. I like the sound of that. Let's try and squeeze another 50 cents out of people. Carousel, I still hate this. I still, with a passion, hate that the carousel has a full line and we're charging $4.50. That's not... we must be grossly underestimating the power of the carousel. Okay, you're gonna hate me for this, but let's just do that. I know people, I just can't fathom that this many people would wait to ride this little dinky carousel. So, we'll probably lose some money, but that's fine. In Vertigo, what are we looking at for in Vertigo? 870. Quite quick, so I think we're probably pretty good on Vertigo. Brain Drain. Really good value. So let's go ahead and try and squeeze 50 cents more out of people. The Kickflip, fantastic ride. Love the Kickflip. Really good value. We're gonna go for the whole $5.50 extra out of people. Fireball. Fireball is one where people are not wanting to pay and not wanting to wait in line. And you know what? I kinda think it's right on point with where it needs to be. 4 minutes is pretty good, so we're not gonna mess with that. Bubble Shot. Customers left 200. Really good value, so I think we can squeeze another 50 cents out of people. Gulpy Speedway. Not queuing that one. Go on Gulpy Speedway. We need to try and squeeze an extra 50 cents out of people for this one. Because if you're 17 minutes, why would you wait 17 minutes to ride this? I mean, honestly, like, there's no one in line. There's no one in line. I don't understand why you would want to ride this and wait 17 minutes. I mean, go-karts are fun, but they're not that fun. Carbonator, especially when you consider 17 minutes like an hour and a half in-game. So, let's go Carbonator. Really good value. Think we can squeeze another 50 cents out of people. And this line, I think, continuously grows now, so I'm happy with this attraction. Very happy with this attraction. And the whirlpool is, I think, right on point. 250, that's fine. No big deal there. So I think we're good on that aspect. Our shops, here we go. This is where we're going to start to lose money, because this random stuff, just a memento, costs us $800 a month. That's fantastic. 14, that's not what I want. Dome protectors is what I want. And priority passes for suckers is what I want. So, these are all going to lose us money, I would assume. They may start to make things a little bit better than what they were with shops open in the back here, but I think we'll be okay. Our facility, the admin restroom, we're going to get that open because we're not struggling anymore. And the restroom block 167 is over by Burnout, and we are not prepared to open that. We will when we rename it. We are losing money on our small attractions. That's fine. Our hotel losing, or actually making a little bit of money here and there. And shops is completely closed because it sucks. So, we are looking pretty good here. Security, we know security is an issue, but we're going to continue to go, and I think it'll sort itself out. It always tends to. The security team gets really good. And actually, while I'm sitting here, I might as well do the plug that I'm always, as these four guys are floating here in purgatory at the moment. If you're looking to interact with the channel, let me know in the comment section, and I will name you one of these vendors, or whoever you want to be. If you want to be security, mechanic, whatever you want to be. You want to be a Gulpy Rex, fine. We will name you and put you in here. I say everyone's name about once an episode. For example, we got Julianne Rose in security, and she is trying to hold it down. She's got a lot of work to do because it's been struggling a little bit. So if you are interested in that, make sure you leave in the comment section. We'll get you in the next episode that I am working on. So, but I think we are pretty much done. We are going to do a little bit of fast forwarding to get this testing going and see how we are doing, and then we will jump into the time lapse and we will start working on our transfer track for Burnout and see where we get. So let's jump to it. Welcome to the time lapse portion of today's video. And boy, let me just start off by saying it has been a long time since our last challenge mode video, and the footage that you just listened to and saw, that was done probably over 2 months ago, and that is because I have struggled so much in building this portion of the park, and you know, it started out good. We were able to get a nice transfer track all set, ready to go, perfectly level with the other on that, like the same exact slant angle down, and you know, I was feeling really good about it, but what you see is I show you everything. I show you 2 failed attempts at this building, and then we finally come up with something that I was satisfied with, and actually maybe more than 2, but I consider it 2 because there were 2 main failed attempts, and yeah, I was just struggling. I know I said at the end of the live portion that I wanted it to be 2 tall buildings to kind of go with the city atmosphere. That somewhat changed. We end up only doing 1 building. We only ever tried to do 1 building, and it's mainly because of space, and there's a whole idea of putting a drop tower in in that little space to the side, which I don't know if that's going to work out, but I wanted it to be something that was going to mesh well with the parking garage. I mean, why else if you need a parking garage, you need to have a big building by it if you're not going to have multiple buildings. So I wanted it to be something that would kind of make sense. It didn't need to be perfectly functional. It didn't need to be like the perfect version of everything, but this first one, definitely not. The colors that I chose are horrible. The reference, but it actually didn't look that far off from the reference that I was going for, but I just chose a bad reference. And yeah, the only thing I think that sticks from this into the final build is the concrete that I put below and above the track as the floor. So yeah, I was really struggling. You can see I even slowed down the time-lapse footage for this entire build, which that's probably going to be a thing because I do swing the camera around a lot. I don't want people to get sick, and if you think the speed of the other time lapses were fine, let me know and I can speed everything back up in future episodes. But at this point, I think I'm just going to slow it down a little bit, just so you can see a little bit easier on what I'm doing here. But here I'm using different types of opaque glass pieces to hopefully make it a little bit better. We also use the windows, the plastic windows I think they're called, to try and give us a different style of inset window. And it doesn't look bad, but again, that brown is just horrible. And that the entire time I'm building it, I'm like, oh man, I don't know if this one's going to come together, and it doesn't. So yeah, again, not too thrilled with this. You can see I'm still spinning the camera around, still trying to see the final project, see the big picture, but it doesn't work out. We move on to our next one pretty quickly. So this one, actually, nothing from that last build stuck around, so we completely destroy it, move on, and go to something that's a little bit better, a little bit brighter, something a little more likely to be seen in a theme park. And we spent a lot of time on this one. We add a lot of little details. We really pay attention to the colors a little bit more. We continue to use those opaque glass pieces because I think they look good for a big, tall skyscraper. But they don't do it for this one. You'll see in a little bit it just becomes a huge rectangle near the end. But we do spend a lot of time on it, and I do like the bottom portion of it. I also like a little bit of the design with a good chunk of it. There you can see I just realized, I used the lit ones. I didn't want to do that. So yeah, we continuously go ahead and duplicate different levels of this building, and you can see it's slowly becoming a giant rectangle. Giant cube sitting in the middle of our park. That doesn't seem to be all that good. Here is the concrete pieces that we end up keeping for the entire build, which is good, or the remainder of the build, I guess. And yeah, we don't really theme too much. We don't theme anything in the inside. We put some tracks to make it believable that, hey, this could be this, but we don't do anything else. That may need to be for another episode because I don't do that in this episode. At this point, the reference picture that I had like a little overhang that I didn't notice. So we go ahead and we start trying to implement this, and trying to get this all set up. I realize I need to use some art shapes, which I do like using them. Because you can get some nice variation, a little bit of definition to your build, and I do a lot of effort with it just to delete it in the end. So yeah, and you can tell how unsure I am because I'm so sporadic in this build. It's like I don't really know what I'm trying to go for. I know I wanted pillars, but then again I go back in and add another layer of concrete. And then I do add pillars, and so I'm just all over the place. I do like the pillars on this. It's actually probably my favorite part of this entire portion of this build. Um, but it doesn't work out in the end. The Qin Dynasty pillars are the ones that I actually ended up, like the last version of the pillars that I use, and we do add a lot of definition and little footers, and we add this little thing here, which I wanted to get into my build quite a bit, but we do add a thing like that in the final version of this building, but that is not this one. So the other thing that I wanted to do is I want to make sure we had two shops in this so it would be somewhat functional. And unfortunately, because of the way I built the paths, you can't do anything. You could not connect this path at a certain point. It just wasn't going to let you do it. So we had to cater our building around that, which was giving me problems. And you can see there I was trying to add a few different things, and it just wasn't working for me. So we end up having the two stalls on the right portion, and then we do get another stall, the staff building in the middle, which I'll highlight a little bit later. But the idea is that it's kind of got like a Starbucks coffee, and so it's half a bakery. So obviously we have to go with the Street Fox coffee and the Live in 27 whatever, I don't know what it's called. And then of course we have to put in our own concrete, which I just use the firehouse roof because I think the texture on that's really nice. And you can overlap them very well, and it doesn't cause any issues, or at least it doesn't cause anything that I can see yet, because my graphics card's not all that great, but that's a story for another time. The other thing that I really wanted to consider on the back side of this building, which we're not looking at the moment, I wanted it to be like a little courtyard type thing. Not something that guests would use or be functional to our guests, but I did want it to have the appearance of something that would potentially be used by the people that work in that building. So we do come up with a good solution for that a little later. But at this point, now we're just trying to work out our curb, which we obviously want to be a little bit different for this building. Excuse me, to just separate a little bit. And here we are trying to add in some footers, which don't tend to work, except we do find one eventually. And yeah, I think we're, like I said, we do a lot of detailing on this. We go ahead and we add in columns to break it up even more, because I'm just, at this point, I said, you know what, we have a big rectangle, we need to find a way to make it more interesting. So that's what we're trying to do. It doesn't work well enough, so I delete the whole thing in a painstaking process later. And yeah, I mean, for a while here we are insetting, we're using the vintage columns, and then we're insetting I think it's a cast stone column to kind of give us that look. And you know, I actually kind of like that, so that may actually show up in a future episode because I like the way that was looking. I love the idea of the Street Fox coffee on like the sign that comes off the side of the building, so we do make sure to get that in the final, not the circle one that we have there because that just destroys the whole front of it. But another part, here we go with all the crazy shapes, and I start by using the big rectangle pieces, and we kind of go off the same style as what we did with our first aid building at the entrance of the park, and we also add in a nice little like rounded portion to the front just to be like, hey, this is the main entrance, come in here. But we go ahead and we say, all right, this is looking good. This is looking good. I don't really like the way that looks on the top so let's go ahead and we'll add that around a lot of other places. And let's go ahead and add to the top here again, because why not? So at this point, we're now adding even more layers to the top. Or actually, I think we've already done that. So now we're just going ahead and adding some detail around the outside to, again, continue to try and make it more and more interesting. And it doesn't really, it does, but it doesn't. There was nothing no like balconies or anything that would have offset it to make it look not as much like a square or a rectangle. So really at this point, I'm just annoying myself trying to mess with some of the like trying to select some of the pieces. And now I think at this point I was really just like, you know what, I just really need to just commit to do this, and however it turns out, it turns out. And I use a lot of small art shapes, and the reason I didn't use the big one is because there was an open area in the middle that guests ride through, so I didn't want people to see that. So yeah, we used the little ones, and we used a lot of them, and then we duplicate a lot of them, and then we eventually can use the bigger ones at the higher levels. But I spent way too much time on this, more time than I would have liked to admit. And I also found that there's some things that are slightly different, so let's go ahead and try and cover those mistakes up. And yeah, every little bit, like now at this point, now it's the building is super offset. It looks very large and unpleasant. You can even see I'm looking at it from farther away, being like, what's this look like? And I was like, you know what, let's just close my eyes and pray and hope. And I think there's worse things that I've built in this game. But yeah, I spent so much time just stepping back, trying to see the big picture, and it just never worked for me. And here we are a couple months later, finally finding something that does work for me. So again, very happy with all of this. And actually, while I'm trying to figure out what I need to say, because I keep saying the same things over, I did get a comment on one of the videos for someone that wanted to be added in, and that was Noctoro1. He wants to be added in as a Gulpy Rex. So I actually did that off screen, but I didn't reference it anywhere other than right here, right now. So Noctoro1, thanks for joining the team. Thanks for entertaining the guests. I look forward to seeing how you do and getting you trained up through the levels as we go through here. I even took a ride on this. I must have really been struggling to take a ride in Burnout. And at this point, I think I put the game down. I played a lot of Parkitect, which probably helped me a lot, because I was able to really figure out some more things that I could do in Planet Coaster. So here we are, going ahead and deleting everything that I did. I deleted it like this because I did not want to have to work to recreate the concrete structure for the floor and ceiling of the transfer track area. So we go ahead, we get all that set up, we find a new reference picture. Oddly enough, it is from Minecraft, so you can see why it's a little blocky compared to some of the other buildings, but I thought it was a fantastically built Minecraft modern city building. and it gave me a lot of inspiration. It doesn't really look anything like the Minecraft building. And I'm sorry I don't know the name of the creator of that, because it was literally just a Google search. But we go through and we try a few different things. The entrance here was stumping me for a little bit, but we end up just moving on and coming back to that and finding a better solution a little bit later in this build. But at this point, we're really, I'm feeling better. I took a long time off from the game. I played another game that gave me some great ideas. So I'm feeling pretty good about the way this is going right from the beginning. And once we find these panel columns, I love my columns, and these work perfectly for what I was trying to do. So, as I throw a pen, yeah, so these columns, I really wanted to try and keep everything like it varied, some stuff offset, some stuff jutting out, just to keep the building a little bit more interesting. But the columns end up staying all in the same row, and we do just fine because we switch it up with the modern wood. So yeah, this build, the columns, by being able to put these on quarter tiles, and it looks like a huge border around the bottom, that helped me a lot. And we really start to get everything to take shape here shortly. Once we start adding in we use different types of glass, we use different types of columns, we use different everything. There's 4 or 5 different types of everything in this building, and I think it turns out it's one of the best modern buildings I think I've personally ever built. So I hope you guys can like it too. We have some pictures of it in the end, but we don't have any we don't have any live walkthrough at the end of this, so just so a heads up. But we do have some pictures that you can see, and I take a few times where I sit back and take a look at it too. So I knew at this point I wanted to have something that came out and kind of had like if you ever saw like a fancy hotel that has the elevator that goes up in the front with the big glass on the outside, that was kind of the inspiration behind this. And I was surprised how well those windows worked for it. And yeah, I was still trying to figure out the columns, which columns would be best. I think I end up using the wood, yep. And just by using the wood, even though they're on the same plane, if you will, as everything else, I think it turns out really, it has some nice dimension to it. We also go for a wood layer on the top, which I think also adds a nice dimension to it. We get some random more pillars. We add a lot of pillars. Like, I don't think I can mention pillars enough. I think we even copy the one side of this building and put it onto the back at some point. So that's how pleased I was with the front of this. And it's still, I think it's just as tall as the last one. It might be a little more narrow. Oh yeah, I was just taking a look at my reference picture there, trying to figure out how can I find more inspiration. Well, here it is, because I don't think I look back after this. But yeah, it just all flows together. We continue to use these plastic windows. These must be my favorite window to use ever, because I use it everywhere. We turn them on the side, so that gives us even more of a variation compared to everything else. We struggle with the camera a lot in this build too. And then at this point I was like, you know what, let's take another stab at the the bottom here, you know what, that's not working, let's go back to the top. And we go ahead and just add some borders around the sides. We make sure to get in some greenery. I think I get it, yeah. We get in some greenery here, and you know, I use the same thing and then I just rotate it a few times. It certainly is a little bit repetitive, but it's so small compared to everything else that I don't think it's that big of an issue. I did vary the height a little bit, which will help. I also really like the idea of having those hedges in there. I don't know why, they just seem to fit for me, so I went with it. We go ahead and add some more borders, and I think we're getting close. Oh, we added in the fiberglass panels. I was debating if this was a good idea or not, and I think it turns out nice. It just adds a little bit of light to the area. It doesn't emit anything, but it's a little bit brighter, especially at night, which this building really pops at night. And I think we see that near the end of the time lapse in the video here. So, yeah, at this point, yeah, we're definitely going and copying the whole side of this building. We do not copy the windows, like elevator windows, I guess if you call them that. We don't want to do that in the backside because we didn't want complete symmetry all the way around. But we go ahead and throw it around and adjust. We have to adjust some of the concrete. I know that the transfer track that's in there is a little too close to the wall, but you would just assume that there's enough space that if we were able to more easily have it closer to the actual track, we would. But that's just not something that's simple, so we don't worry about that. And yeah, at this point we're just going in, making sure we get our greenery in, get our windows in. We tidy up the entrance and exit for the coaster, and yeah, we are quickly wrapping up here. We still got a little bit left though, but I still got to put the roof on, which is soon gonna end up. I am swinging the camera around a ton at this point because I'm so happy with the way the whole thing looks. And yeah, there we go. We start cleaning up the entrance for the coaster, and I think, yeah, we're still just a few more things. We got to be getting close to the roof. Ah, here we are. I couldn't find the roof that I wanted, but eventually I do. We go ahead and get that in here. One thing I was struggling to figure out how to cap this off, and this is where I said, you know what, this building came from inspiration from Minecraft, so let's put some boxes in. One thing that I did want to have though, that is not inspiration from Minecraft, is I wanted it to be connected to the Burnout station, the parking garage, if you will. So we go ahead, and I was debating if I wanted to keep the current building that I'm putting together as the theme of that bridge, or if I wanted to use the parking garage, and I found it easier just to use the current building that we were working on. And then at this point, we just gotta finish up the bottom layer, get the surrounding pieces tidied up a little bit. We get our courtyard in the back set up, and I was gonna add a lot of detail. I would love to be able to have benches back here, but unfortunately without paths, it's not gonna let you do that. So we go ahead, we get some more windows in here. I wasn't sure what doors I wanted, so I think we used brick city doors or something like that. Nothing too crazy. We don't really add anything to it. No one's really ever going to see this. So I'm barely ever going to see this. So what we do is we just add in a planter and then 3 tree planter things. I don't know what they're called. We add in the birch trees are basically like the only tree that fits in those. And just kind of leave it at that. finish up our planners that line the trough for Burnout's launch. And yeah, that area is pretty much done. I think that turned out really nice for what it is. I wanted to also support this area off the building for Burnout, so I'm not sure if I like that or not, but we'll have to consider reevaluating that in a future episode. So at this point, again, I'm trying the paths again, but I just can't get anything to work. I was going to try and have it so that it was a functional area where people could sit, and it doesn't work. So we just delete the paths. We go ahead and put in a planter, like an L-shaped planter that kind of goes around the corner. Kind of just like a place to sit for, I guess we could say it's like a staff area in the middle of the park, since we do have staff building in this building now. But yeah, we just kind of leave that. We leave a little bit higher than the other planter. We go ahead and add in some windows and some doors, and yeah, we found some concrete that was sticking out, so we go ahead and fix that quick. And yeah, I think we only have a few more things that we need to tidy up here. Oh, we get a few more windows. We also look to do window, like just kind of like the window look above the shops. We end up changing that later. And then at this point, we finally get our pavilion that I wanted to get in so badly. And I think it works out. I think it looks really nice. You can see we just we take the time to get it all set up perfectly, and get the wooden pieces in there, the wooden support, and then we add in the little hedge bush thing type, so whatever you want to call them. Get in some trees. It just kind of breaks it up a little bit, and we did need to remove some supports for Burnout, which we actually go ahead and we leave one of them, and we just add our own footer for the area, and I think it turns out fine. So again, I'm super happy with the way this building has turned out. I am sorry that I turned the camera around as much as I do. Here we are going and getting in our staff building, since I was able to find a way to connect to the path. And yeah, one thing that's pretty interesting around this door, we add a frame around this because it's the main entrance, and then we add the hedges just to kind of give a little bit of color inside there. That obviously wouldn't be the case in real life, but yeah, I think it's fine. And then at this point, it's just about decorating the shops and making them look good. We get very distracted here, I think. Yeah, for whatever reason we got very distracted and said, oh, you know what, we forgot to cover the area where the coaster goes above the path. So yeah, great job to me. We should probably also do that over this area where it comes above like this little courtyard type thing, which we do not do, so we'll probably have to take a look at doing that later. And then yeah, just tidying up this little area. I can't believe how sporadic I was. I don't believe I completed the shops and stalls yet, that's fun. We go ahead and we do finish the planner here though. We get some trees in here. We get a few taller ones just to kind of make it to kind of hide the rectangular shape of all of this. And then just adding in some bushes. I, for whatever reason, really like this pot, plant, whatever you want to call it. So we use that quite a bit in the front here. And at this point now, I use a black art shape to go ahead and make that the backdrop, and we put the bakery and the coffee sign on top, and then we also use the actual branding after I get back out of the Steam Workshop stuff. So yeah, I mean, we go ahead quickly. I quickly get that Star Fox coffee, or Street Fox coffee, up on the side there because I like the way that looks. So, yeah, at this point, we go ahead and we remove the fencing for our pathway. Like you said, it would appear to be functional, but it's certainly not, that courtyard. And then we just need to add some lights. So, at this point, that's going to do it for the time lapse. I do hope you enjoyed it. I do hope to get these videos out a little bit more frequently. I'm hoping at least once a month, but with my work schedule, you never know. So I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you didn't, make sure to leave a comment on how I can fix it. And if you want to find some more awesome Planet Coaster content, make sure you subscribe to my channel, Mostly Average Matt. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later!